is a story of a loyal child. I must have been about 4 years old, and we still lived in our rented house on the first floor of this rented beautiful little pavilion in Colombes. The house was owned by a Monsieur Guillon, and being a little bit bored, not much attention from my mum, I used to be continuously hanging around Monsieur Guillon, pestering him, chatting. Anyway, one day, Mum was washing me, ready to go to bed. She found a flea. She must have noticed bites on me. She said, "You got a flea." And she says, "You know, you're always hanging around this Monsieur Guillon. He's not clean, and you've caught a flea from him." She said, "This is enough." Anyway, I didn't waste any time, and I can see myself. It must have been a Saturday. I raced downstairs, and he was in bed. He was not a well man. He was always in bed. And I said, "My mummy says I'm not to play with you anymore because you have got fleas." And he went absolutely livid. He jumped out of bed. He said, "You horrible little child, disappear. Scamp from here, go away." But and I was very proud of myself. I raced upstairs to tell Mum and Dad what I'd done. And of course they were horrified. They didn't know where to put themselves. At another time, I could hear Mum and Dad going on about this neighbour who'd brush the... It was a private avenue where we lived. It was sand, I think, not tarmac. And there were quite a few dogs. And this woman would brush all the dogs' dirt in front of our gate. It was always in front of our gate, and I think Mum was afraid I'd step into it or whatever. So I had a brilliant idea. I was out and about playing, and I thought, oh, I'm going to avenge my parents. So I went and settled myself opposite the garden gate of this woman and decided to do my business there, thinking she was safely indoors. And then to my horror, she arrived. She'd been out shopping. And I had my little skirts gathered all around me. I looked ever so proper, and I pretend to be fiddling around with little stones or whatever, and she would not go in. She was messing about with a key, and I kept thinking, is she going to go in? And she going to go in, and she wouldn't. In the end, she knew there was something going on. She didn't like me. And in the end, she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing, nothing. I'm just looking for a little stone." And I carried on, but of course, you know, I couldn't stay like that forever, and she just would not go in. So I had to go, I had to get up and run, and of course she saw what I'd done, and she just ran to my mum and told her, and I hid behind a telephone post and was discovered very soon by my mother, who gave me a really good hiding. So I thought, so much for loyalty. This is my reward. Must have taught me a lesson early in my years.